Welcome back to episode 3 of Ollie Foreman's The Mindset. Today I am joined by Luke, the director and founder of F&L Kitchens, one of the most prestigious kitchen companies in London.
Nice one.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming along.
Thank you for the invite.
No worries. So you've become like quite a big company in quite a short period of time in terms of like a company's timescale.
Yeah.
So how did you kind of like first get into that career?
It's a weird one. So long story short, I went to college and didn't really like it. Long story short.
What did you do at college?
Public services and business. It was just, what course can I take without having to apply, and like what can I just walk into tomorrow?
Yeah. Did you know like what you wanted to do at that stage, or were you just like, all right, I just need to get
Yeah,
something?
I just need to do, like, you know what it is. Parents are like, you need to do something.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let's do something. So I went, and it was cool. But at the time, my mum worked in Morrison's in quite a senior role, so she knew that I wasn't going. And she goes, "It's cool, Luke. Don't worry." And I'm like, "Huh?" She goes, "I've got your job." I was like, "Okay, cool. Where?" Obviously, it was at Morrison's. I was 16 and a half, 17. Walked into Morrison's, met the store manager. I'm like, here for my job. He said, yeah, cool. I said, what is it? He said, you're pushing trolleys in the car park. Like, honestly, I was that guy. For about 8 weeks, I pushed trolleys around the car park and swept up.
Yeah.
But I'd done it, and I'd done it well in terms of as well as you can do it, right?
Yeah,
I'd done it. And it was the first realization to me of money. I was getting £500 a month for doing a bit of part-time work. I was like, this is good, you know? So I kept it up because I was like, if I do more days and more hours, I can earn more money.
Yeah.
And eventually the store manager goes, right, that was the test. You passed. Because a lot of people would have walked. Because there is wrongly a stigma around people that push trolleys.
Yeah.
But he was like, that was a test. So then he brought me inside, and I worked my way up to be like a produce, the fruit and veg side manager. Then my manager left and went to one of the big kitchen companies. And he called me up and he goes, Luke, you need to come. And I'm like, his name was Mike. I'm like, Mike, I don't know nothing about kitchens. What are you talking about? He said, just come. So, you know, I looked at my life. I had nothing to lose. And I went. And the rest was history. That was, you know, nearly 14 years ago.
How old were you? Like, how long did you stay at like Morrison's before you then left?
I was at Morrison's till a good 3.5 years. So I was about 19.
Nice. You learned a lot there. Like,
It is the, you know, obviously you've had Lawrence on here, right? And I knew Lawrence from there as well. All hard workers come from hardcore retail.
yeah.
You know, it's not all, but most. Christmas, you know, 22nd, 23rd, you're working till like 2, 3 in the morning and back at 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because everyone needs their potatoes for Christmas Day, right?
Yeah.
And you're literally like you're getting like 3 or 4 Arctic lorries of fruit and veg. Times have changed now in supermarkets, and you can tell I go to supermarkets to do shopping. Like since COVID, them times have changed, and I don't know how they work it, but we used to literally, the shelves used to be empty.
Yeah, well, that's mad.
It was mad.
That's mad. So from then, so what age were you when you started the kitchens?
So yeah, straight into that 19 and a half.
19 and a half.
Straight in, walked in, and
So what role did you then walk
I went
in?
into an admin role,
Okay.
which is predominantly seen, again, wrongly, as a female role.
Yeah.
So I walked in as, they call it business development, and I walked in doing this job, and it's ultimately paperwork.
Yeah.
And answering the phone. But it was my way in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then from there, you know, I grew a sort of like, I like this. You know, I really like this. And I like the banter with the builders. Never really grew up around any builders. You know, my dad was handy, but probably looking at it now, he wasn't that great. Yeah, so I like the buzz and I like the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it was a real, which we can probably touch on, it was a real it felt like a real family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like the company culture.
yeah.
Almost.
But you soon learn how unreal that is. You know.
I think the longer you're there, the more experience you get.
Yeah.
You kind of see things like you used to see it through like the rose tinted glasses,
Yeah.
as it were. And then the more you understand it works, the more you're like, hang on a minute.
Yeah, exactly. And I put everything into it, and I worked my way up to being a store manager. I was one of the big kitchen companies out there at the moment. I was their youngest store manager
Yeah.
to date. That's probably surpassed because obviously young people coming through there.
Yeah.
So I think I must have been about 21.
Okay.
So within 22, 3.5 years, I become a store manager, which obviously brought its own responsibilities. But, as that journey progressed, me personally, and it's 100% true, the money got to my head.
Yeah.
I was young, living at home, had all this money,
Yeah.
and didn't know what to do with it, And the people come and go, your staff, your friends, people you thought your friends and not your friends, and giving certain people a job, like, because you had that power to do it, and absolutely, like, shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
When you're the guy that gets blamed for everything, people will throw you. They'll throw you under the bus.
Yeah.
And it was a rude awakening that this isn't rosy. This world isn't very nice.
Yeah, 100%. I kind of think, like, especially at like 21, 22, like, money is just the sole focus of life. And that is it, really. You don't really think about much else. Like, right, how much money can I make? And like, what can I do to make the most money?
Yeah, and I absolutely, happy to admit, it dropped an absolute own goal. I've got a missus and 2 kids, and we still rent.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that's too bad though, renting at the moment.
I don't. I'm in that mindset because ultimately, I run a great company and earn great money.
Yeah.
But I also have got huge outgoings in regards to not even for the business, but for the house, what the kids need, what I want, what the missus want. Like, I don't want us to be in a world where let's not have that takeaway. Like, we need that 30 quid.
Especially like with the situation now with like mortgage going mental.
Yeah.
Like, if you're locked into something like that and you're not going to be able to afford like the hike in interest on mortgage rates, like, whereas a rent like is fairly fixed with your contract. And granted, you haven't got the safety of, your landlord could ask you to get out. It's a lot. I would see it as a better position to be renting now than having a mortgage.
Yeah, and I had this conversation with someone the other day, and they were talking about, do they rent, do they buy, like, what do they do, and like, what do you do? And I was like, rent. And they said, the thing is, and that's what they said to me, the thing is, I could go rent my dream home, and it would probably cost me maybe another $1,000 more. And is that sustainable over a long time? I don't know the answer, but I could go rent a dream home now of, $2,500, $3,000 a month. I'd be really happy.
Yeah.
The only thing in the back of my mind is, what are we leaving the kids?
Yeah, exactly. So, with going back to when you were like the manager at the kitchen company, how long did you stay manager before you then decided you were going to then leave and set up?
Well, no, so from there I went to another kitchen company.
Okay.
And turned that round. Again, it was, there's 2 or 3 kitchen companies in the UK which are market leading in terms of well known. I was at the most well known initially. Then I went to the second most well known.
Yep.
And it's a completely different mindset, because the first one's very focused on trade. The second one done trade and retail. So you're having to adapt to speak to Mrs. Smith and not Bob the Builder.
Yeah.
So that was a learning curve on its own, but they were really struggling. They're really set in the past. So, I walked in and we were turning, 50, £60,000 a month over of kitchens. By the time I left, which was 2.5 years, 3 years later again, we were doing like £200,000 a month. So we absolutely
big jump.
demolished it. But I killed their margins, absolutely, because I'm like, sell it cheap, like, let's get people in.
Yeah.
So that was that. That worked well. It was a more of a sort of stopping point because I didn't really know what I wanted to do next.
Yeah.
Then I got an opportunity to work for an Irish company who'd done bespoke kitchens. That was weird. Not because they're Irish, but because they were all based in Ireland and I was the only one here.
Okay.
So we had a warehouse in Greenford. We'd done a lot of new build projects, so I'd run the new build projects for them here, which was going well. Like, it was just going well. I had a lot of time. But within that time, allowed me to set F&L up.
Yeah. Okay, so you set up F&L while we were still employed, so you didn't kind of like make the jump and you're like, right, I've got a second company. Now you kind of like walked into the company.
Yeah, because, they were doing 50, 60,000 pound kitchens or developments. One of the two, that was our remit. But I was getting my old trade base that I built a good relationship with saying, Luke, I need a 20 grand kitchen. How can we do it?
Yeah.
So I started acting as a middleman between other suppliers and the customers. Obviously, I knew how to design a kitchen still. So I was carrying on. And it got to a stage, 18 months after working with the Irish company, I'll be honest, he wasn't very happy with what was happening. I wasn't very happy with what was happening because it was just so hard. It was hard for him to manage me because he didn't know where I was.
Yeah.
As much as the work was getting done, he didn't know where I was. And the communication between me and him was extremely difficult. There's no time difference in Ireland, or very little.
Yeah.
But he was running like what I'm running here now, there. So it was just impossible. So we just, we shook hands and come to a mutual agreement. I told him, he knew F&L was working in the background.
Yeah.
He knew from like when it started happening. But he was just like, look, pay you a couple of months. Like, let's wrap up for me and let's call it a day. Like, I wish you all the best.
Yeah.
So that's when F&L was born.
That's it. So when you left and went into F&L, you already had like clients established, and stuff like that.
Yeah. It was very few though. It was good pocket money. At the time, and then it was like, we need to make a living out of this.
Yeah.
And how do we?
So who was it in the meeting? Was it just you?
No, so I had a business partner before.
Yeah. Is that why it's F&L?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. That's just digressed because my daughter's called Francesca, so it works. Had a business partner, went really well because ultimately I walked into running F&L not knowing how to run a business.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I knew nothing about VAT. Didn't know what VAT was. Like, I knew it was a tax on amount of money, but didn't know you could claim it back and whatever you paid, you had to pay. So it was, I needed a business partner.
Yeah.
And it worked well because initially we were doing kitchens and building materials. We actually probably done more building materials than kitchens to start with because it was a great hook. We got loads of people in. That got binned off after COVID.
Okay.
Because I was arguing with people about £1, or a plasterboard that cost £6 was damaged in the corner and they're like, we don't want to pay for it. And I'm like, it actually cost me money to take it back to the yard. Like, so you're like, have it for £4. Oh no, have it for £3. And it was just that, like, this is not sustainable.
Yeah.
Building materials only work on a huge scale, not on 50 sheets of plasterboard. This doesn't work. So, where are we now? Nearly probably 2 years ago, maybe even 3, because F&L's been running 4 years now. Me and my business partner parted ways.
Yeah.
It was going to just be mine. Which was weird, right? So, my business partner still is one of my closest friends. But that was a weird transition because ultimately we're all cool and we're running the business together and everyone knows we're running the business together.
Yeah.
Then we're not. So that was really...
It was quite like, obviously you're still friends, so it wasn't like a bad terms kind of splitting partners.
No, but like, to be honest, and I think me and him had this conversation anyway, we divorced, as it were, because it wasn't working.
Yeah.
It wasn't working. He came from a different background to like kitchens and building. So as much as like I couldn't have started F&L without him.
Yeah.
Like, period.
Yeah.
Because we would have just been chased by the tax man. Like, we weren't VAT registered day 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't know all of this. And I could have paid someone to do it, but I didn't. I didn't know Mr. George cash flow then. But yeah, I couldn't do, but it didn't work. As we started getting busier and, it's hard. Like if you've got a business partner, like, right here and now, if I want to take a client out for dinner or lunch or whatever, I can go do it.
Yeah. So I know a really good friend of mine, and he's got a business partner, and they do really well because your workload's halved.
Yeah.
You're not having to take everything on like all at once from the get-go.
But that's only good, right? If you're both good at what you do, right?
Yeah.
And he is in his own right. He's good. Like his business, he's got his own business as well. Runs like wicked, but he's not in this game.
Yeah.
And it's like I couldn't do anything to do with trees. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know what to say. It's a tree.
Yeah.
But probably vice versa.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like designer kitchen, no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. So when you set up F&L, like when you were at your last company, did you have a family then?
Yeah, so my daughter was, so she's 7 now. So yeah, she was in the mix. So when it was great, in a way, because when I worked at one of the companies, I worked Saturdays.
Yeah.
So it means I got a day off in the week.
Yeah.
So I could do more. When I worked for the Irish company, was great. I had my own time. I was doing nursery drop-off loads, and I was there. I was around. I was working at home all the time. That obviously changed massively.
Yeah. Because you got 2 kids now, haven't you?
I've got 2. Yeah. So Grayson, he's 2.
Yeah.
Nearly 2. No, he is 2. Nearly 3. You can edit that bit. But yeah, it's like my whole dynamic, like over my working life, the dynamic of work-life balance, life-work balance, however you want to call it, it's up and down like a yo-yo.
Yeah. So when you went, when you left and you were with like building F&L up, were the hours you put in like a lot different?
No, I'll be honest. At early days, it was quite easy.
Yeah.
It was easy, if I'm honest. This is what running a business is. Like, it's easy. I was going for lunch with my mates and, I was around an awful lot. Only, I would say, the last 2.5 years, when we moved into our first office and I employed staff and things like that, it's gone kaboom in the greatest way possible. But, my work-life balance is out the window.
Yeah, when I always found out the scariest thing of like when I first employed people going that jump from like just you and someone who helps you out to actually employing people full time. It's a scary jump.
Yeah, it's hard, and people will always say it, and I will always believe it. People are the biggest problem, whether that's clients, friends, or staff. They're the biggest problem.
Yeah.
And I'm that guy. I want to set the tone. I don't want to tell someone to do something that I wouldn't do.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm in by 7 every morning. 9 times out of 10, I won't leave before 6.
Yeah.
I don't leave before 6. I get home as quickly as I can to see the kids, if possible. If they're not like getting ready for bed already, then I carry on.
Yeah. It's always like the behind the scenes stuff, like early mornings, late evenings that no one sees.
Yeah, and it's hands. If you're thinking of setting up a business, and you've already got a family, like your missus has to be on board.
Yeah.
Because 100%, I couldn't do it on my own, like hands down.
I think even if you've got like a really good relationship with your partner, I think it's still going to put strain on it at times.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like there's evenings I can't talk.
Yeah.
Like, not because I don't want to talk, and it's probably something I've never even said to her, but I need so much time to decompress. The day, on an average day, I get about 40, 50 calls. That's incoming. That's not anything outgoing that I've got to deal with, or any, like I always say at work, any grenades thrown at my desk. And like, I haven't mastered the decompressing. Yeah. I just need to chill.
It's tough. It is tough.
Done it last night. Kids are not like all got flus because it's that time of year, and we literally got Mrs. went out and done an exercise class. I was there. Both kids were in bed. Had a little interruption with the kids because of coughing. We both like sat down. Must have been about 9. like
Yeah.
done. And I'm like I need to iron my clothes for tomorrow, and I ain't got lunch. That doesn't matter. I'll forget that. And daughter's got a cake sale at school today, so like let's go buy a cake quickly. And then I sat down about 9:30, and she's on her phone doing whatever she's doing. I'm like, I just need to play FIFA. Like I just played, and I'm not really a PlayStation guy. I play it, but not often. Once or twice a week, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
But I find PlayStation is the only thing that zones me out.
Yeah. I mean, it's something completely nothing to do with what you do in your daily life, and it just
you can't check your phone.
Yeah.
You can't it'd be a bit hard, but yeah, you can't check your phone. I just played these 2 online games. Yeah. Like 1-1, got absolutely whooped on the other. But I forgot work.
Yeah, it just kind of, I see it as like, it kind of like takes you out the world.
Yeah.
For like that period of time. Like nothing really matters outside of it. You don't really take notice of anything.
If you never play PlayStation, you won't get it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I'm sure, will say like, my partner plays and I just don't get it. Why is he chasing all these guys with guns and things? But it does. You're in another world.
It's kind of like a therapy almost.
Yeah, it is 100%. I would recommend it.
Yeah.
If you're having a bad day, I even thought of putting one in the showroom.
Yeah. Because you've got your, you've just moved into your new office recently, haven't you?
Yeah. So we're now in a fully fledged showroom.
Yeah. Because did you take on 2 more staff members going into that office?
Yes. Yeah. So the biggest reason for the move was staff space and my space, because we were in a studio before, not very big, but we had all of our samples and my office.
Yeah.
And the 2 boys at the time who worked for us sat out there, but if we had a client come in, everyone was in my office, or every meeting, everyone was in my office. Like, it just didn't work. We needed space. The thing about a showroom is brilliant, but it gives people more choice. Yeah,
because I see you do the VR.
Yeah.
And that was quite cool.
That's game changing. Like, I've got to bring it next time that we hook up. But we're just doing a kitchen now for one of our builders for his own house.
Yeah.
And he's never given us so much work over the years, but never been into us, ever. Like, we've just built a relationship, it's trust.
Yeah.
And never gone through the experience of how we deal with his clients. And he was in the other day with his wife, and he goes, "Oh my God, this is game changing. What you can design my kitchen, and I can walk around it." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what you just did." And he's like, "Yeah, like I'm sold. Let's buy."
Is it a thing that like not a lot of other kitchen companies?
A few people are bringing it in. I'm going to shoot myself in the foot here. I'm so surprised more people aren't.
Yeah,
because it's the easiest tool. Like people can't imagine.
Because I always see like the stories people on Instagram, and it's just like people with the goggles on, they're sort of looking at their own kitchen.
Yeah.
It's crazy how you can.
I've had people crawl along the floor because they want to look like under the islands, and like we've had one accident. We've had someone walk into a wall. He was a brain surgeon, like coincidentally, but yeah, he walked into a wall.
How long have you had that in place?
Since near enough, 6 months in.
6 months in.
Because, the first ever showroom was my car boot. I had all the samples in the boot. And you'd go to someone's house and you'd be so embarrassed because they're all scratched to pieces because they all slide around in the car.
Yeah.
But I'd bring the VR in and my laptop and we'd design it and make it all come true. And then it was slightly better because they were putting the goggles on in their house.
Yeah.
But the setup was just long. I could be at someone's house for 3 or 4 hours. As a rule now, we don't design in someone's house.
Yeah.
You come to the showroom because we never leave. Like, you just literally never leave.
So, do you think the VR has, like, for you, like, catapulted your business?
Yeah, 100%. Because we can make decision making easy. Yeah. Like, it is that's it, there's nothing more to it. And it's within times, it's current. People actually, rightly or wrongly, we may forget to mention the VR experience.
Yeah.
But they'll remind us. Like, so when can we do this?
So literally, you're the first company that I've ever seen do it. Yeah. I've never seen anyone do that.
No.
Like,
one of the bigger companies do it, but they do it with a lead, like, attached. So, like, it's just a bit weird. They don't really got flexibility to move.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Like, it makes me feel sick as a dog. Like, if I have it on for too long, because the motion is crazy.
I've never had one on.
You never had one on?
No.
Oh, yeah. So, like, weirdly, I think we went to, was it in the summer or like maybe last year? Went to London Aquarium.
Yeah.
On the embankment. And they had a VR like whale experience, which was really cool. But when it's your own space, it's relatable.
Yeah.
It's just so relatable.
So now you've taken on the new staff, like your 2 new staff.
Yeah.
Have you found like you've been able to slacken off a bit, or have you found there is more work now?
Yeah, there's more work. I've not really mastered it, but I'm trying to build F&L to a place where it doesn't need me.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm the main salesman. I'm the main planner. I'm the main coordinator. I'm the main everything. My team are great, but they're all very green.
Yeah.
None of them have come, bar one-ish, a kitchen background. None of them had to do ridiculous amount of cold calls to get business or deal with people's problems,
Is that how you go about getting a lot of your business? Like either cold calling, or how do you market yourself?
Yeah, so there's probably 3 things that, 3 ways we do it. One is social media. Like we do loads on Instagram. It is my best, I may as well bin my website. It works, but bin it.
Yeah.
It's all the, and my brochures, because all the kitchens on there are real. Everything's real and relevant. And Instagram's massive because people know me before I go, and the team, before we go to their houses.
Because you do nationwide, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our logistics allow us to deliver anywhere. So we're just doing a job in Sheffield at the moment. Supply only, but we could have fit if they wanted to, but they didn't need us to.
So you just you primarily you design and build the kitchens for your clients, and then you just give them the option to fit. And more people are taking that up, especially from a builder perspective. Like there's no good builder quiet at the moment. Yeah.
So when he hears, so you can fit it, I don't have to fit it, so that gives me 4 days off the job while you're there. Yeah, come in. Like, so, he had 4 days to either, I might do 1 or 2 things, probably the latter, stay at home and chill, or go to another job.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to another job.
Yeah.
And my guys are kitchen fitters, they do it with their eyes closed.
Yeah.
And there's somebody, I'm not handy. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I can design and sell. And manage people's expectations and deliver a great service.
Yeah.
But a carpenter and a kitchen fitter they're 2 different people.
Yeah. It's like kind of just hiring the right people that are going to perform.
Yeah.
Like how do you go about doing that in your way? Like how do you identify people that you think are going to perform?
So all of my recruitments, all the staff that I've recruited over the last 4 years have always been for recommendation.
Yeah.
And not necessarily recommendation from the kitchen industry. The builder's yard who I used to get all my stuff from recommended one of the guys. One of my biggest ever clients, who's now no longer in the property kitchen industry, doesn't do it, just a man of leisure, recommended someone.
Yeah.
Slightly risky area, but friend of the family recommended her partner who now works, and that's always a tricky one.
Yeah.
Because I had to have a couple of chats before and say, if this doesn't work, that's not on me.
Yeah.
And I don't want there to be rifts and arguments with everyone.
I think, especially going down that route of like family and family friends, it's when it works, it's great. When it doesn't, it's like,
and so far, that's plastic, but we'll touch it. It's working well.
Yeah,
it's working well.
Yeah, so I have my brother who's employed for us. Cool. That can be tricky at times.
Yeah.
Like there are times where it's just, I don't know, he thinks I bully him. It's just banter, Tom. But yeah, I mean, all the other guys have come through recommendation.
But equally with your brother, like, you are going to be able to say things to him that you can't say to someone else. Like, it's just the nature of the beast. And same with, the family friend who now works for us. I know your pressure points. I know what you need money for.
Yeah.
So, I just turn that into the right way. I'm like, your son who you spoke the other day needs this. Like, let's earn the money to get him that. Yeah.
Yes, it's kind of like it's a bit more personal. You know what's going on.
Yeah.
Situations.
But equally, the other side of the coin as well. Yeah. When there's issues or problems, like, unfortunately, I'm there if you need me, but I'm not there. Like, it's not my business.
Yeah. So with like now your setup and like from when you started to now, do you think like you've compromised or like missed out on anything like family wise?
Yeah, 100%. I do my best to see the kids and take the kids to school and do what I need to do. Like, I've got a rule. I am working tomorrow, but only because we've had a little bit of a change up in the setup.
Yeah.
In the office, but I don't work weekends.
Yeah.
You know,
that was a hard one for me to do. I've done it now this year. Past like probably like 4 months. I'm like, right, don't work Saturdays and Sundays anymore.
Yeah.
Like those are for me to do my own shit. And, like,
yeah, don't get me wrong. I might jump on the laptop in the morning or on a Sunday evening, like when there's time, but I can't. You know, my kids are at the age now. They've got birthday party after birthday party, football, tennis.
Yeah.
You know, I need to see my grandparents. They're not getting any younger. I need to see my parents.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, that's a big thing, you know, and naturally we work with retailers, like retail customers, end users. So they're off on the weekends. Yeah. So they get, like, bamboozled when I say we're not open weekends. They're like, why? I'm like, well, we don't get any time off in the week because you also need us in the week to answer them questions.
Yeah.
So, like, spoke to a client the other day. They're giving us a deposit. They're great, but we're just not there with the design. And I'm like, you've got to come in. Yeah. There's no choice. You've got to come in.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain situations and there's certain clients which you do go that little bit.
Well, but I said to them, she said, my parents are here on Sunday. You couldn't do Sunday manage. I was like, absolutely not. And I said, I'm going to be really blunt because I feel like we've built that relationship, and I'm just going to be really honest with you. You need to take a day off work.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Like, if I need to come here, I've moved all my meetings.
I think it becomes like more. I found like personally, like you become like more of like a senior professional company.
Yeah.
Like these are my hours. If they don't work, you just got to make them work.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm not going to bend over backwards all the time for you.
Yeah.
And like we had it recently where we used to be open 24 hours online. So for like emergency call outs. Yeah. And I'll get phone calls at like 10, 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, great, emergency call out. No, it's just some geezer who wants his hedge trimmed. And he's like, I just want a quote. I'm like, why are you phoning me at this time? It's like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I've opened up the floodgates to this, you know. I'll message people late in the evening. I'll make calls in the evening, you know.
Yeah.
And that doesn't have a huge impact on me, but that must have a huge impact in my house. Because ultimately they know Dad's always on the phone.
Yeah.
You know, they know it. And only from talking to you now, I'm like, yeah. But however right or wrong this is, that's what makes me successful.
Yeah.
Because we're out of the 8 to 5 remit. I'll talk to you on weekends for sure. You know, I reply to messages. You know, all of our clients of some description we have contact with on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go to the big retailers and get that. You got to call up, speak to the receptionist, who puts you through to someone else, who puts you through to a designer. You're there for 15 minutes before you've got your question even asked.
Yeah. I find like WhatsApp now, especially in business, it's just everyone uses it now.
Yeah, it's game changing.
It's just, and you can't ignore it either because like if you read it, they know.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's but
it's so easy to reply.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just like your mate's texting you. It's not massive.
I remember my early days, you know, you want to send someone a picture of a colour, you know. You take a picture, you upload it to your computer, then you email it, but the file's so big it takes forever. Like, now people are like, I'm not sure what colour. I'm like, cool, I'll send you a picture of the colour chart.
Yeah. It's just the way, like, especially like technology's going, it's just making business so much easier. And like now with social media to get an outreach is crazy. Like the level of marketing you had to do, let's say 10 years ago.
Yeah. To
get to like where you are now.
Yeah.
Is massive.
I pay no money on paid advertising. Zero money. Like through Instagram and things like that. You know, like the reach is mad. It is mad. I done a reel last week. I had 100,000 views.
Yeah, that's mad. That is mad.
And it was, I've had 20,000, but the one next to it's got 500. You know, it was just weird.
Yeah.
It's all done on songs and things like that. But you know, a good 30-40% of my business every year is through Instagram. For people that wouldn't know me without Instagram.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is, and especially like because it's free.
Yeah.
And that is a lot of money, like 40% of like your turnover basically is through a free
it's mad.
app.
It's just, you know, like I said, they get to know me. Even, you know, when I do a story, it's been mad busy at the moment, so I haven't done one. There's only one deadline in this industry, and it's Christmas Day.
Yeah.
You got to have enough on Christmas Day. Like, there's no way around it. But I'll put on, say, look, I'm in the office. I'm really busy. I know I've got to get back to lots of you. If you need me quicker, call me.
Yep.
My phone will ring as soon as that story's published. Because, like, I saw your story. Can we talk?
Yeah.
Like, so instead of sending out a broadcast message or, you know, a MailChimp, like, broad text to everyone, Luke's free now, I just do it on there and they're like, so you're free.
It's crazy how, like, quick people can just get hold of you through just seeing a story.
Yeah.
It is mad.
It's crazy. Mad. It's crazy. But, like, I urge people, and I talk to so many people, like, you don't need to, you know, I'm sort of looking at something else to do with social media, see if I can help other people with it. But you just do the basics. Yeah. You know, and the basics are throwing your face on it and.
Yeah, I mean, like get in front of a camera. Like when I first did my Instagram video, that was tough. Yeah, for me, and like you like going through it in your head, rehearsing what you're gonna say. First video, cocks it up, and it's just You do quite a lot now because you do video testimonials now.
Yeah, so we get our clients to do videos as well. Yeah, we actually stopped that for a little bit because my photographer had a baby, so we had to stop.
Okay.
Videographer, so we had to stop. But yeah. To your first thing, my first video, I remember it clear as day, it was 18 takes for my first video. I sat in my car and it took me 18 times to say, hi, my name's Luke. You know, that's what it was ultimately. Yeah. But everything is video now. Everything is visual. People don't care what brochures look like. Yeah. And I've got, you know, we've just started Google reviews. We've got like 40, 50, 5-star, one bad one, but we won't go into that. But, you know, my video reviews, they're real. They are so real. I could fabricate 100 video reviews right now.
That's the thing. Like, you can kind of like, you can see it's like an actual client. You can connect with that person. Laura's reviews, you're just like reading it. Yeah. And like the amount of fake reviews you can get online. Yeah. Like, so I used to be a member of like Checker Trade.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I left there quite recently because it was just all going downhill. But you could really easily do fake reviews.
Right.
Really easily. I had a friend, I won't say his name, keep him discreet. Basically, they used to give you a review card thing, and the client used to fill it out, and they would sign off on it, and then you post it off, and then the review gets put up. So what my mate did, he filled out like hundreds of these review forms, and at the end he was like, "Oh, can you just sign here, please?" And they just signed a review card, didn't even look at it. And he just posted off, and he had like 500 reviews in a year, and he just wrote them out.
It's mad.
I mean, they don't even get like vetted. They do now, but back then they didn't.
So he's just got all these. So now he's looking great on there.
Yeah. So you can have like a stupid amount of reviews, like 10 out of 10, and all the client's got to do is just sign off at the bottom. They don't even read it. He literally goes, "Oh, can you just sign this, please?"
Yeah. That's mad.
And then you've got like 500 reviews just like over a year.
But the thing is, it's just not ethical. Like, if you're good, you don't need to do anything. You know, it will come. Like, there's always lead generating and marketing. You're gonna have to do some description. Yeah. But if you're good, you don't need to put fake reviews up. I just don't believe in it. I just think you're cheating yourself. If anything.
I get like family members and they're like, "We can leave you a review if you want." I'm like, "I'm not being funny, but we've never done work for you."
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it.
Yeah.
I was just like, I want all my reviews to be genuine. Yeah. And like we have less like come in because of that reason, but the ones that do come in are great. Yeah. And that's what builds up.
Do you find it hard for your clients to leave reviews?
It's always sending them a link, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll do it," and they just never do it.
Yeah, you know, I've had some really good clients over the years who have said, "We are going to recommend you to every single person." Like, honestly, Luke, we are, and they do, which is the best review in the world. Yeah. But they won't leave a Google review, and it's just like, honestly, mate, it will take you 1 minute of your life. Like, all I want you to write, This is really great. They've got a great product. Then you'll get carried away and write more.
Yeah.
That's all I want you to do.
Yeah. We have some clients where I ask them to leave a review and they go on it and they're like, oh, we're not actually happy for our details to be displayed. Like, that's what we get. But I mean, like with you now with like video testimonials, you're kind of there.
Yeah. A lot of people, like a lady yesterday said to me, like we just put a delivery date for mid-November. And I said, well, look, I want to try and get some pictures before Christmas, like get your Christmas tree up ASAP, and like it's gonna be a really, really nice project.
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah, but I'm not going on camera. I'm like, that's cool, that's fine. Like, there's no pressure. Don't force people to go on camera. And it's always the nervous ones that say, oh, I'm gonna mess it up or whatever I'm gonna do. They're talking for like 10 minutes. Like, it's never ending.
Do you find it quite hard or quite easy to like drop that little thing in to like, can you do the video testimonial?
It was initially, but now if you go on my website, they're everywhere.
Yeah. Was that like more for like feeling awkward about asking them, or just the people, like the clients?
Bit of both.
Yeah.
Like it's always weird saying someone, can you do a video for me? 'Cause they're like, why?
Yeah.
And then when you send a few videos, say, look, we only want you to talk for a minute, like no more.
Yeah.
And yeah, as I say, they talk for like 5-6 minutes. That's actually a detriment to me because I can't have a reel that long.
Yeah. 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 Do you like clip them down?
We try and cut them down and we overlay them with like the nice kitchen in the background. But I set up a YouTube channel and they're on the website, so like people look at them. I know they do.
What's your YouTube channel called? Is F&L Kitchens?
It's F&L Kitchens. Yeah. Plug that one right there.
Plug that. But yeah, no, that's good. It's like I definitely think like before I met you, I'd never seen people really do video testimonials.
Yeah.
In that way, and it's quite an interesting way because it's kind of marketing at the same time as well as a review. Like you're getting more views because of that. So it's crazy. It
is, and it's mad, and it's real. If you think it's fabricated, you're crazy. Like it's
actors,
the most real.
Actors.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's the most. It's real, and what they say is real, and you can't. What they say, you probably couldn't put into words.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you can kind of see like with like that like body language.
Yeah. They're happy, and they're in their new kitchen.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, I've seen some of your the videos on YouTube. They're good.
Yeah,
like where they go around the kitchen.
Yeah.
No, it's real good.
Yeah, no, it's the video game. We're just trying to. We got up that now. That my videographer is back.
Yeah.
End of this month, and we've got untold amount of jobs. Like, there's probably a job in itself doing that.
Yeah. Because will you with the YouTube channel now? Like, is it just primarily for your video testimonials?
Yeah, it's for content. That's we don't. Like, I set up a YouTube channel because that's how we could link it to the website.
Yeah.
I would love to, have, like an F&L weekly.
Yeah. So I see like Lawrence is kind of like moving down that route with forest trees.
And you've got some of the big boys, Asheville, etc.
Asheville, yeah. Yanamais, stuff like that.
I'd love to do it, and I'm sure if I said it to my mates, I'm like, no one cares, but people are interested.
It's surprising, like how much random people care about what goes on in your life.
Honestly, I haven't done a story this week. I don't think, just because it's been a massively overwhelming week. The pressure's on, and it's just on.
Yeah.
And I get messages like, "Are you okay? Like, I haven't seen you on Instagram. You all right?"
Yeah.
And it's just weird, like in the nicest possible way. Like I'm. Like truly grateful for these people checking in, but it's weird that I only talk rubbish on there.
Yeah, a lot of time like there's people messaging you that you don't even know.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I always find like, especially with the social media game, staying consistent can be hard.
It is hard. It is so hard, and it's taken over my life.
Yeah,
it has.
Yeah, I always find I don't do it as much for the business. Now I used to be on it all the time. I like put stuff up every now and then. It's more because I'm not really on site that much anymore.
Yeah.
But like with my personal brand one, it literally consumes your life.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to set up a personal brand. I just changed the name. I don't have a name yet on it, but you got a name and a username. Yeah. But you have to leave a 14-day gap before you change the other one. It's just like, so that'll be coming soon. I can send you that and you can drop that in.
That's it. That is it. And do you find like with me, like especially when you're at home and you're free time, you just find yourself on social media? Yeah. And again, like I don't have a young family. Do you find that like gets in the way a little bit? Yeah,
like we spoke about. I'm not really there.
Yeah.
You know, obviously I'm there when I need to be there. And if things hit the fan, I'd be there, you know, within seconds.
Because how your oldest is 7?
7, yeah.
Yeah. Are they kind of at the point like where they understand at all, like a little bit, or they're just kind of?
Yeah, I think so. And I've tried to bring them involved in social media to a degree.
Yeah.
You know, so they've done bits on my Instagram before, and
Yeah.
let's be honest, school will not teach you about Instagram,
No.
period. But you know, if it's 40% of my turnover, you know, I'm an average sized company. How much turnover is it for the big boys?
Yeah.
You know, it's got to be massive.
A lot.
It's got to be huge. You know, you look at George; he gets loads of his clients from Instagram.
Yeah.
What would he do about it? You know, go around knocking on doors.
Yeah, it's like probably the best marketing tool.
Yeah.
In the world right now.
But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to be present. It's you know, ultimately I'm building this for one reason, for the future.
Yeah. For
my future, for the kids' future, for the wife's future. You know, for us there's 4 of us, no more. It's for us, you know, like, and that's really, you know, my missus doesn't run a business. She's, you know, her full-time job, she's got the most important job in the world, like looking after the kids.
Yeah.
And running our house, you know.
Yeah.
That's probably harder than running a business.
Yeah.
There's just less idiots involved.
Yeah.
You know, I'm probably the only idiot. But to make the business you want it to be, you've got to give it the hours. Like, there's no way. There's no way.
I grew up with my mum was a stay-at-home mum, and my dad went out to work. And my dad was self-employed. He worked on the roads, like doing laying roads basically. And he worked 7 days a week, like all week, like every week. So you didn't like get to see him a lot, like growing up. Like he was there, but like not as much as like most other parents were.
Yeah.
And they kind of like, I don't know, like when he got a day off, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I kind of like, especially like as I got older and now I run a business, you understand it so much. And like, you know, like those 7 days a week are literally just to provide so you can live.
Yeah, I remember my dad worked Monday to Friday, my mum worked Saturday, Sunday, you know, while we were young.
Yeah.
So you never had them both together. You'd be lucky you might have dinner together on a Sunday.
Yeah.
But it must be, it's easy for me. I wake up, I go gym, I go to work.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. You know, I have lunch when I want. I'll pick up the phone when I want, you know, within reason. I do what I want within reason. You know, if you look at, you know, back to the hardest job in the world, and I can't do it. No, I haven't done it, bar when like the missus has been away for a little bit. But I don't think I could, you know. You have to be at the school gate for 9 o'clock. Then she's got to go nursery for 9:30. Then you've got to, you know, doesn't have to, but she tidies the house and gets things ready, washing.
Yeah.
Then, you know, probably sit down, chill for a bit. Then you've got to pick them up at 3. Then you've got dinner, bath, homework, you know, bed.
A lot. It is a hell of a lot.
You just, like, when you, like, break that down, it's the hardest job in the world. Because ultimately, I can mess your kitchen up.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to happen. You can't mess your kids' routine up. You can't not take them to school. You can't, you know, obviously their safety's paramount as well. You've got to be, my son's, you know, 2, he's reckless. Like, my daughter was an angel, you know, and is still, you know, relatively timid as much as she's got a bit of a mouth for her now. But my son is a wrecking ball. Like, he was down on the table and just jumping, like, catch me. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
But boys are just a different breed. Like, we're probably the same at one point.
Yeah. Chaos.
And he's just like, he's full of beans, you know, all the time. I don't have that. Yeah. You know, if you talk to me rudely on the phone, I'll put the phone down.
Yeah.
Like, if a client does, if you shout at me, I'll put the phone down. If there's a problem, I sit back and I work it out. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's kind of like you can't really do that if you're like looking after the kids.
No, it's hard. And I'll take my hat off to anyone that does it, man, woman. But it's a different pressure. You know, my pressure is I have to earn the money. So everyone has what they want and we've got roof above our head, you know, food in the fridge and my heating on. There's people I know now that haven't got the heating on yet. Yeah. You know, I'm like, I can't live my life like that. If I want the heating on, it's going on.
Yeah. We're noticing it because we sell like firewood. People are going like crazy for going forward because it's a cheaper alternative now for the energy bills. It's just it's crazy.
It's hard to live like that. You know, we're so busy. We're the busiest. This is the busiest end of the year I've ever had. You know, I think at the moment we're sitting at 18 kitchens we got to fit before Christmas. It's the 14th of October.
Yeah.
Like,
what is it? It's like 6-8 weeks.
Yeah. So we're on like 2-3 kitchens a week.
Yeah.
It's mad.
That is.
And then there's a mopping up period after that, which has got to be done. So like we'll do it. Like hands down, not everyone's job will be 100% finished, but it will be in a great working, clean order for Christmas Day. Yeah. But it's just, it's just hard. It's just hard to keep that momentum up.
Yeah, I think like definitely like you get like the burnout as it were.
Yeah.
Because you went on holiday recently, didn't you?
Yeah. So I took the kids to and the missus obviously to Disneyland America.
Yeah. How was that like in compared to like stepping it? Because you went for 2 weeks, didn't you?
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. Like no work.
Yeah, and I couldn't work. My phone for whatever reason didn't work. I couldn't receive any calls. I could only get WhatsApp.
Okay.
So that was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
How was it? If I'm honest, it wasn't great.
No.
It was the holiday was great. Sorry, but work wasn't great.
Yeah.
We probably had our worst month.
Okay.
In nearly 4 years.
Yeah.
Financially, which it's a learning curve. You know, we put things in place and we're dealing with it. But the first week I was constantly thinking about it. I was messaging like what's going on, where are we at, checking emails where I could. Even my emails went down at one point.
Yeah.
But then week 2, I turned off.
Yeah.
Because it's a massive 8-9 hour time difference. You know, you can't be on the phone to a client while you're walking around Disneyland. Mickey Mouse is not having it.
Did you find out like a kind of like a new like view on the world almost, like going from running the business full time to then being able to take 2 weeks out, and then granted it come back and it wasn't the best, but like say if you did that again, would it be different?
Yeah, I think so, and I think my team have learned from what didn't happen. Ultimately, that was the big thing. It was the first time I've ever taken 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
But I did. Look, we went with a few people, a few other families, in-laws as well, and you know, just for the purpose of conversation, I'll talk about the blokes that were on holiday. My father-in-law and one of our family friends, and they didn't think about work once.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't have to. They're both employed.
Yeah.
You know, wasn't on their agenda, but I'm like, okay, like what's happening? Like I completely had a social media ban miles away. Like it was completely off. But yeah, it's weird. It's and you see all them people. No one's thinking about work, but you know, ultimately, it's my livelihood. It's my life.
Yeah. So like when I was on site like all the time, like working 6-7 days a week, I got ill, so I had to go to the hospital, and took me out of work, like completely out of business, and everything ran normally. Yeah. And I was like in hospital. I was like, damn. I was like, I could have done this ages ago.
Yeah.
I was like, it literally took me to get put in hospital to realise that the business will keep running without me being present. And like ever since like that, even though it was crap, it was like a lesson, as it were. And now I like can go on holiday pretty much whenever and not worry. Like I know the guys are solid, things are going to get done. If there's a problem, there's like a ladder they can deal with.
Yeah.
And if it's really a massive problem, they can WhatsApp me.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, touch words, like I never get a WhatsApp with a problem that they can't deal with when I'm away.
Yeah, and I think that just comes with learning, right? You learn, and ultimately, all my clients, if I'm away, they just wait.
Yeah,
you know, it's weird. So you're trying to get everything done, and you do, and then they've got an alteration or a question. Yeah, just wait.
Yeah, I mean, like we're literally human, the same as the clients. Yeah, and I think that's what they understand when you say, "Look, I'm going away on holiday."
Yeah,
I can't talk. Yeah, for like 5 days.
Now, I know a couple of business owners, and they're on holiday like every other week. Like, and you're just like, right, you're now taking the mick. Like, you can't moan you've got no work and then be on holiday. Yeah, you know, some people go away for like 6 weeks in the summer. Like, what are you gonna do? Close your business? Like, you can't physically be away for 6 weeks. Yeah, like if you're running a business, in my opinion. I
mean, definitely if you're at that stage where you're big, I think you probably could.
Yeah, if you've got like a hierarchy of people.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, of course, but I'm talking for you, but me and you're not at
Yeah,
that stage,
no,
you know?
No.
You know, I still control my bank account. Of course
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, yeah. So that like goes on to like, obviously you're building F&L, like that is your future for you and your family. Where do you envision the company being, like say 10 years?
Yeah, it's the $1 million question, if I'm honest. You know, first and foremost, we need to get Cuffley where we are now, running without me.
Yeah.
That's stage one. You know, we've had opportunities of recent. We had an opportunity in Surrey.
Yeah.
To open a new showroom.
Yeah.
It's still in conversation, but in terms of we will put a display, but it won't be manned.
Yeah.
You know, you said builder can bring his clients there, have a look at the products if that's what people need to do.
Yeah.
But it's to open more. You know, we could in theory have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different showrooms around the UK. I think there's a fine art of running away with it. You know, be good at what you do first. Like, so I've sort of got it into my head. Cuffley has to be perfect. It has to be the flagship store.
Yeah.
It has to be the training center. So everyone from them various stores come in, and this is what we do, and this is how we do it. Copy them, and you'll do well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like for me, like I kind of know that my company is not going to be around forever, and it's like my goal is treat my clients the best I can, do the best work I can, but not get sucked into the business where I don't live my life.
Yeah.
And that's like where I see the business growing bigger and to the point where I can then take a step back and then pursue other avenues. But I know that company, like the company I've built, like so hard to build, isn't going to be around forever.
Yeah. Which is sad, really.
Yeah.
It's quite sad. And equally, you know, the same with F&L, as much as I want all these branches, it's going to kill me. I'm not going to do it, like, period. I can earn a really good life just where I am.
Yeah.
I could potentially earn a better life with more, but what more problems is that going to give me?
Yeah.
You know, I struggle, with the greatest respect to them, with free stuff. You know, what's that like with 16? You know, plus your managers and things like that. And
it's just all like you have the benefits of becoming bigger, then you have a lot more problems of becoming bigger.
You know, people have asked us for years, can we do bathrooms? Can we do bedrooms?
Yeah.
I could if I really wanted to, but I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
Why change that?
Exactly. It's like, as the saying goes, if it's not broke, like why doesn't he fix it?
Yeah, exactly. And
it's stuff like Stephen Bartlett had a saying like, if it's going to compromise like your mental health, why are you doing it?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I like the finer things in life. I like nice food. I like nice clothes.
Yeah.
I want my kids and everyone to have nice stuff. You know, I don't want to be. There's nothing wrong with it, but I don't have to run to the reduce section every day because we're on the bread line.
Yeah. It's like the balance, really. It's like it's very hard to get, but it's like how far you want to go with being, say, like wealthy.
Yeah.
And the balance of being around with your kids.
Yeah.
And like them growing up.
But wealthy is one or two things, right? Loads of money in the bank. But if you've got loads of money in the bank and you've missed 10 years of your kid's life, well, what's the point of being wealthy? Yeah, they'll take the money. Of course they will. You know, I would like to say my parents were around when we were younger. They were.
Yeah.
Even though not together, but they were around. But they weren't by any... I wouldn't actually call them wealthy. Like, we didn't get everything. My kids are spoiled, you know, but I want them to be spoiled.
Yeah.
Within reason. They need to earn. They understand. They're too young to know now. But as they get older, they need to understand the meaning of money.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a sister-in-law, she's 12, I think, 11, 12. Just started senior school. And they've got this thing that they have to go to like one after-school club, and her one's finance. She got put in it.
Yeah.
So they said every day you go to class, you earn like 20 quid. Like, it's like a wage.
Yeah.
Or to your lessons, whatever it is. So I said to her yesterday, day before, how much money you got now in like this virtual bank? She goes, £500. I'm like, cool. I said, but how much of that money is yours? Because I don't know. £500. I'm like, no. And I didn't go into it, like, she just going from school, like, she didn't need me talking nonsense to her. But, you know, they don't teach that at school, you know, what's your operation cost?
Yeah.
How much was your travel? How much was your lunch? How much tax you got to pay on that?
Yeah.
You know,
school... It's just something Like, especially all those things, it's like trial by fire. It's just like you get thrown into it.
I honestly think the education system is absolutely great in one respect, but it's got the biggest flaw.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't make people ready for the real world.
No. No.
Any way, shape or form, you know. Yeah, give your kids £20, but right, let's work out how you got to that £20 and what's not yours.
Yeah.
You know, because it's the biggest shock to me in the world, you know, my first corporation tax. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why have I got to give you this? Like, the VAT, but why? You know, my first ever invoice, I didn't charge VAT. You know, because I didn't know. Like, I just didn't know.
Yeah. Like, when I started out, I was just like, I think it was the first year I didn't have an accountant or anything. I was like, the tax man won't find me.
Yeah.
And then next year you get an accountant, right, you owe this. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I think my first ever sale was paid into my personal account.
Yeah.
You know, so like, if it was a big order, it was like 12 grand materials and loads of doors and things. Got paid into my personal account. I'm like, oh wow, I got 12 grand. And my business partner at the time, he said to me, but we've got to pay the supplier.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah. So I was left with like £800. I'm like,
yeah. I used to be like, so I used to get paid in my personal account, and you're like, yes, look at all this money. I am a baller. Yeah. And then you like, right, okay, got paid £800, right? I'm going out, spending £700.
Yeah.
And then you like, something breaks, and I'm like, oh shit, I got no money.
Yeah.
And it's just a game changer. Like being told, right, you got to pay yourself a wage. Rest stays in the company.
Yeah, exactly, and it's mad. You know, luckily I was working at Morrison and that. You know, my first car I wrote off within 24 hours of owning it. But because my mum had forced me to save, I managed to, you know, have money there to fix the car.
Yeah, I think like education definitely nowadays, like especially it comes down more to parents now than the schools.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, work ethic and you know, we sponsor a local dance studio. Yeah. And I'm in conversations with her now. We were doing stuff like giving out free water bottles and whatever, and we'll sponsor you because naturally sponsoring helps my tax. They're a charity. Yeah. But we want to give back as well. So we're going to be doing a talk in early November to the older kids of what are you going to do when you leave school? Yeah. You know, next week, I think it's half term, week after, I've got my cousin, he's 14, 15, my cousin's son, so my second cousin, coming to work with me. Like, he doesn't have that get up and go, and he's like, I want to write a CV, and I want to do an apprenticeship. Like, you need to learn how to talk to people. Yeah. Like, come in and let me show you how to talk to people. You will pick up the phone and you'll talk to someone. Because it's the best. People hide behind emails. It's easy. Yeah. I could write the best CV in the world.
I think, like, especially like the upcoming generation, I like swear they're afraid of phone calls.
Don't need to talk to people. Like, why do you? You order your food, WhatsApp, or message or email. Yeah. Like, no, pick up the phone and speak to the client. Yeah. Speak to your friends.
It's like such an easy thing to do, but it's everyone like see it as this like overpowering thing to do.
And half of the world's problems, issues, personal issues, will be resolved so much quicker if you pick up the phone.
Yeah, like angry text messages, just pick up the phone.
And you can misinterpret them. Yeah. You know, like sometimes like my missus might text me K. That's because she's busy with the kids. And I'm like, well, she's got the ump with me today. I'm like, why did you write K? She's like, well, it was just the first letter I saw and I sent it. You know, or I could say to a client, I was texting a client the other evening and he was just like, we're going backwards and forwards about something that he wasn't particularly happy with, which I disagreed. He, the message was, I don't really like your tone. And I just called him straight away and I'm like, mate, listen, you're getting this wrong. You're reading the message wrong. I'm absolutely fine with you. Like, the tone is not the tone you're predicting. He was like, do you know, I did think you've never been like that before. So, like, what's happened? But that's good with texting. You can't. You don't know my emotion over text.
Yeah, no, that's it. It's hard. It gets like diluted, muddled up. But I think, like, to wrap up, I think what would be your number one bit of advice to, say, like a young parent or any parent really who's looking to make a jump from employed to self-employed to then going down the route of being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, be prepared for the sacrifice because there's a huge sacrifice. You've got to have a team in terms of your family team needs to be strong. Yeah. Wife, husband, whatever it'll be, partner. So that'll be first and foremost. First one is sacrifice. Second one is have your team in place. And third thing would be ask for advice. It's easy to, you know, me and you both got the same business coach, Mr. George. Like, there's no one you can ask this stuff. You don't get taught it at school.
Yeah.
So ask and do the due diligence first before the tax man comes. Like, there's no other way to do it.
Perfect. Nice one, Luke.
Thank you.